Hey guys, what's up? It's 8-Bit Eric, and shooters are like one of the most all-time classic genres of mine to play. Growing up playing games like Gradius, R-Type, Life Force, you name it, shooters have always been one of my most favorite things to do. Just sit down, relax, play a bullet hell game or two, and just have some fun. And you know, once in a while you find a brand new shooter that just changes everything, and that's what happened when I found out about Rival Megagun. Does a new little twist on the shooter genre, and I think it's actually worth talking about. So that's what I'm going to do. Today we're going to talk about Rival Megagun for the Nintendo Switch. So if you're brand new to the channel, feel free to throw a subscription and sit back, relax, and let's begin today's video. So Rival Megagun, the main thing that attracted me to this game is the fact that its gameplay mechanics are not just a shooting game, but kind of like a versus game, like a fighter game. I'd probably say it plays a little bit like a Bubble Bobble game or even the Street Fighter Puzzle Fighter type of game, because the more that you do on your side of the field, you play on one side of the field, your opponent on the other, and the more enemies you kill, you can do a chain of enemies that you can kill, and you power up. You get more power. You have a meter on the left that fills up, and depending on where that meter's at is to what certain types of attacks you could do towards your opponent. You could send, you know, simple bullets, small robots, drones, enemies, things like that to your opponent, and you basically have to try to outlast them. And it's not such a walk in the park, you know, like most shooters, old school shooters. There's all sorts of obstacles and bullet hell type of environments that you have to avoid. This game is action-packed and extremely fast. I was awestruck at how great this looks. It has that neo-retro look that a lot of these games nowadays have, but it totally fits. It's like a game competition in the story. There's a host that hosts like a deathmatch type of thing where people in competing ships play against each other. There's several different characters with quirky personalities and stuff on here, like a retro gamer and a robot and some drunk looking evil guy that looks straight out of an 80s movie. There's a lot of content here character wise and charisma wise, but the main thing that settled me on this was like, wow, I've never played a shooter that was like this. And it's beautiful because you have a single player mode and you can even play against people online, which is nuts. And as I mentioned, based on your chain of succession of defeating enemies is how much power you can get. And of course, the better you do, the more enemies and obstacles you send the opposite way. But your enemies also could do a badass job and send enemies your way. So it's very chaotic. There's even a power up, like if you complete your power up all the way, your power meter goes as high as it can, you become a boss. You could become a boss that fills up like almost the entire screen of your opponent, and it's so zany. It's amazing. Like, I had so much fun checking this game out. I'm gonna go ahead and demo the game for you guys right now. So let's go ahead, go there, and then we'll do some closing thoughts. Alright guys, so we're going to begin Rival Megagun, and like I was saying, this game brings a real kind of like old school action-packed type of vibe. If you like shooters and you like competitive games, this is kind of like a mixture. I would almost say it's almost like that Street Fighter puzzle game that came out, you know, a long time ago, where you're competing against somebody on the other screen. There's a few characters, as I mentioned. I unlocked some of them. Some of them, I really can't tell difference in how they perform. It's more like an aesthetic thing, I guess. But I'll just show you with Jen. He's the cool little Naruto-looking guy. So you're kind of like in a competition. There's a host and everything. I'm assuming the host is eventually a playable boss, stuff like that. But you'll see here, you're squaring off against somebody in a rival ship. The idea is to survive as long as possible. And I'm playing against Buddy 2.0. And it's to last as long as possible, defeat enemies. The more chain that you get, the more enemies you send to his side. And then if you power up enough, you can actually become a boss yourself. And again, if you're a fan of shooters, you will definitely love this game. It's very challenging. I'm not the best person at shooting games, but as you can see, every time I kill an opponent, something those blue things, those blue circles cross over into his area. And if they're in there long enough, they spawn different enemies. You can even do attacks towards your opponent with the Y button. You can see right here, I sent some attacks his way. Depending on how your meter is full, which is that yellow meter on the left, depends on what attack you do. If you build it up and wait, you actually will become a boss, which I'm going to try to do that so I can show you guys just exactly how it works. I think the music, fucking phenomenal in this game. And what's cool about this is it has online play, so you're able to play against people. So that is definitely something that is a good feature for this. Don't seem to be doing too bad. Your character can last about 2 hits before you meet the dust like that. And I've noticed when you lose, it gives you a couple chances to win a round, but when I win, it instantly wins the match for me. So I don't know if it's always like that or what's going on. Maybe I have a setting. Not entirely sure. But once you knock out your opponent in single player, you pretty much win the match, and it doesn't make you do any more rounds. Oh, you gotta watch out. That was an attack he sent me from behind. Some missiles. So anytime you get attacked by them, you'll see some question marks pop up, and it'll kind of give you a warning. Now I have enough to become a boss. So now I transform into an enemy that goes into his side of the screen, and I have that big life meter. God damn, he's actually doing pretty good against me. You have a chance to knock him out and win the match. He's doing some good damage. Oh, see, I got him. So I won that round. So that's the idea of the gameplays. It's basically a shooter, a versus shooter is what I would call it. I think it's really cool. I've never really seen anything that is similar to Rival Megagun. So we'll do one more round. Let's see how I fare. Just so you guys can really sink your teeth into how this game plays. Dr. Magic. Look at this guy. He looks like Tommy Lee Jones, doesn't he? Dr. Magic. Wonder if he does any magic tricks. Alright, enough with the cringe. Let's begin. Okay, here we go. So the idea is to build up some chains so you can get some more power. Fill up your power meter. And to not die. I mean, it's like any other shooting game. Just has this cool little mechanic of being able to attack each other. Stuff like that. You even have a power up like that can clear the screen just in case things get a little hairy. Alrighty. See, I sent a small attack to him, but he easily dodged that. The idea is to just build up your meter as much as you can and eliminate. Oh shit! You see that? This definitely puts your shoot 'em up skills to the test. Now I'm gonna be the enemy. The enemy. Let's get this guy. And you can even curve your attacks with the Z and ZL triggers. That was actually pretty easy there. I'm playing on normal. Couldn't even imagine what hard is like. So, yeah, guys, let's go ahead. This was Rival Megagun. Let's go ahead and finish up with some closing thoughts, right? So, Rival Megagun twisted the shooter genre enough for me to be like, wow. I'm so glad I had the chance to really sink my teeth into this game and check it out. I grew up playing a lot of shooters with my older brother, and just now that there's one that we can play against each other like this and screw up each other's day makes me so happy. I'm going to show him this game as soon as possible because I had a lot of fun playing it alone. I think the fact that it's multiplayer, not just online, but locally as well, is such a blessing. You know, there's different takes of video games, retro video games. You know, people bring back these games that are based off of old types of games, and when somebody brings out a new twist to it, it's so much fun. You know, the fact that somebody today thought, okay, let's do a game like this. I've personally never played something like this, so if I missed the boat on another game that plays just like this, forgive my ignorance. But Rival Megagun was just amazing. It had just enough content, just enough action, just enough accessibility to me to where I really think that this is a game worth checking out on the Nintendo Switch and whatever platform it's also available on. It's a blast. Pun intended, guys. So I definitely do say check out Rival Megagun if you are a shooters fan, because it's great. The presentation of it, the way it works out, the gameplay mechanics, everything is just straight A across the board. So 8-bit Eric game grading scale, I give this game a solid 8, because 8 is great, baby. And that's it for today's video. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, remember, subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to comment, like, dislike, all that stuff, and I will see you on the next video. Consider supporting 8-bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description.